The moment you open your eyes, you're sending a message. That message says one of two things: I'm ready or I'm tired. And how you start tells the world what you're about. You either show up for your life or you let it slip away. Every single morning is your chance to shout, let's go, or to mumble, not today. Which one do you think leads to the life you want? When the sun comes up, that's not just a ball of fire in the sky. That's opportunity knocking on your door. It's fresh, it's clean, it's undefeated, and it doesn't care what you went through yesterday. It just wants to see what you'll do with it today. Your morning is the restart button most people don't press because they're too busy snoozing through it. The folks who win at life, they ain't rolling over groaning. They getting up grinding. They not waking up to problems, they're waking up to purpose. You have to treat your mornings like gold, because they are. You can't expect $1 million day off a 10-cent morning. If the first thing you do is check your phone, you're already in someone else's world. You ain't leading, you're reacting. Start your day in your world. Talk to your spirit before you let the world talk to you. That means prayer, meditation, goals, whatever feeds you, not them. The way you start is how you finish, period. You rush out of the house in chaos, you'll live that whole day in chaos. But if you take control of your morning, you set the tone, the world will move around your energy instead of dragging you through it. You are the DJ of your day. You set the playlist. If your first track is doubt, fear, or I'm tired, the whole album's off key. But if you hit play on confidence, faith, and let's get it, everything you do that day gets in rhythm. So if your morning is your message, ask yourself, what kind of message are you sending? Because the universe is listening, and it responds to energy, not excuse. Let's be real, most people wake up like victims. Alarm goes off, they hit snooze 5 times, and roll out of bed like life owes them something. But life doesn't owe you anything. You owe yourself that intention. You've got to wake up with your why, not just your when. Alarms don't build dreams, intention does. When you wake up already knowing what you're about to do, there's no dragging, there's no confusion, there's only motion. Motion creates progress. Progress builds momentum, and momentum makes success feel natural. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to have all the energy in the world while others just look beat before noon? That's not just about sleep, it's about purpose. When you're walking with purpose, it fuels you. It wakes you up before the alarm. Most folks wake up reacting. The successful ones wake up creating. You can either step into the day with your agenda, or you'll spend the whole day following somebody else's. And guess what? Most of those agendas don't serve your dream. Set your intention the night before. Don't let the morning catch you off guard. Know your target. Know your first move. Because a morning without a plan is like a plane without pilot. It's going nowhere fast. Your energy in the morning is the currency for your whole day. If you spend it cheaply, your day will cost you more. But if you invest it right, it'll multiply everything that follows. You got about 30 minutes after waking up to tell your brain what kind of day it's about to have. That first half hour is prime time. It's sacred. And most people waste it with distractions, complaints, or social media noise. What are you feeding your mind when it's wide open? Because that's what sticks. If you scroll through negativity, your mind locks into that. If you speak faith, gratitude, and goals, your mind holds on to that too. What you allow in is what your brain builds around all day. Your brain ain't a trash can. Stop letting junk be the first thing you throw in it. Don't check emails. Don't read gossip. Don't argue online. That's not morning fuel. That's morning poison. Start clean. Start with power thoughts. I'm capable. I'm grateful. I'm focused. Use those 30 minutes to build. Read something positive. Listen to something empowering. Write your goals. Pray. Visualize. Stretch. Anything that says, I'm getting ready to win. because how you prep determines how you perform. You can either feed your focus or feed your fear, but you can't do both. Your mind will follow whichever you give attention to. Feed it victory and watch how confident you walk into the rest of your day. You can't start the race walking backwards. You need momentum, direction, and clarity. That's what those first 30 minutes are for. Set your compass, speak your direction, claim your results. Don't underestimate how powerful your mind is in the morning. It's listening. It's watching. And it's waiting on you to tell it what's important. That mirror ain't just showing you your reflection. It's showing you your identity. And what you speak into that mirror becomes your truth. If you stand there and say, I'm tired, then tired is what you carry. But if you say, I'm built for this, you start moving like you believe it. The words you say to yourself first thing in the morning set the tone for everything that follows. People out here waiting for compliments from others when they ain't even complimented themselves. Don't wait for the world to validate you. Do it yourself before the world even gets a chance. You've got to stop tearing yourself down before the day even starts. That mirror doesn't lie, but your doubts do. You've been through too much to still be talking down to yourself. You've survived things that would have crushed somebody else. Look in that mirror and remind yourself who made it through all that. Speak boldly, speak confidently, speak progress, even if you don't feel it yet, especially if you don't feel it yet. Faith isn't waiting to feel ready. It's acting like you're ready until your spirit catches up. Talk like you've already arrived. That's how belief is built. Start simple. Today I will not quit. Today I'm growing. Today I get better. Say it every day out loud. Say it like you mean it, because the repetition becomes a rhythm, and that rhythm starts building a new mindset. You can't expect to live a powerful day with powerless words. What you say to yourself is more important than anything anybody else will say to you. Don't give that mirror a version of you that's shrinking. Show it to the one who's rising. If you can't look yourself in the eye and speak life, then how are you supposed to walk into a room full of challenges and conquer them? That mirror talk is practice for the world. And you better show up to practice if you want to dominate the game. People keep waiting to feel motivated. But the truth is, motivation shows up after you start moving, not before. Your body doesn't want to move in the morning, but once it does, something kicks in. Energy wakes up, focus sharpens, confidence rises. That movement shifts everything. Have you ever feel like your whole mood changed just by walking, stretching, or breathing deeply? That's not a coincidence. That's physiology. You are not a machine, you are a living system. And movement tells your system it's go time. You can't think your way into energy. You got to move your way into it. Get up, do push-ups, take a walk, dance in your room if you have to. Just move, get that blood flowing, get that oxygen up. Your brain needs that flow to perform. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the wind to blow in your direction. You don't wait on it, you create your weather. Your body is built to help you win, but only if you tell it to get going. And motion is the loudest command you can give. You don't need a gym membership to get activated. You just need discipline. The difference between tired and energized is often 10 jumping jacks, 10 squats, 1 set of deep breaths and stretches. That's it. It's not about getting ripped. It's about getting ready. Your body keeps score. If you start your day sluggish, you carry that slump. But if you spark it, you carry fire. Every step you take in the morning is not just a physical move. It's a mental one. It tells your mind, we're not dragging today, we're leading. The moment you take control of your body in the morning, you tell the rest of the day who's in charge. You don't need more coffee, you need motion, because movement is the spark that sets everything else on fire. Let's be honest, some mornings you just don't feel it. You don't feel strong or excited or ready, and that's fine. Feelings aren't facts. You don't have to feel it to do it. That's where discipline steps in. Discipline doesn't care how you feel, it shows up anyway. Discipline is waking up and handling business whether you feel like it or not. And the crazy part, once you do the thing you didn't want to do, the feeling catches up. Action brings alignment. The move comes after the move, not before. Discipline doesn't ask permission. It doesn't wait for inspiration. It sets the alarm, gets up, and does the work. Some people want results. Others are committed to routines that bring results. Which one are you? It's not about being robotic. It's about being reliable. Can you count on me? Can you do what needs to be done even when the mood ain't there? Because every time you do, you build trust with yourself. And that trust is the foundation of success. Moods come and go. Some days you're up, some days you're down. But discipline levels that out. It gives you consistency. And consistency beats intensity every single time. Anyone can grind for one day. Winners grind every day. You don't need to be in the mood, you just need to be in motion. Mood is a bonus, discipline is the requirement. That's how you win mornings, that's how you win life. Before you reach for your phone, before you even leave that bed, you need to reach for gratitude, because gratitude is like cement. It stabilizes you before you start stacking anything else on top. If your heart ain't grounded in gratitude, you feel like something's missing all day. Start simple. I'm grateful for waking up. That alone is a blessing somebody else didn't get. You've already got the first win of the day, life. Now, act like it means something. Don't speed past that. Let it hit you. Gratitude flips your mindset from what do I have to do today to what do I get to do today. That shift right there turns pressure into privilege. And when you walk into your day with that attitude, you approach problems differently. You don't dread them, you face them like someone lucky enough to grow. If your day starts with complaining, you've already locked into defeat mode. But when you start with gratitude, you remind yourself of what's right instead of what's wrong. And that makes a difference when challenges show up. You got a foundation to stand on. Gratitude also humbles you without weakening you. It reminds you that even though you've got goals, you've also got blessings. You don't need to have everything to appreciate something. And when you appreciate something, it multiplies. You've got to train your mind to look for what's working. Because your mind is like a flashlight. It shines wherever you aim it. If you aim it at stress, that's all you'll see. But if you aim it at blessings, peace, and clarity follow. Build that emotional foundation every morning. Say it out loud, write it down, think it through, but make sure you feel it. Because when gratitude is your first gear, nothing can knock you out of drive. What you do in the morning becomes what you do by default. And what do you do by default? That's your lifestyle. People want to change their lives without changing their habits. That's backwards. You change your life one small habit at a time, starting the moment you wake up. Morning habits aren't about perfection. They're about momentum. If your first few actions are strong, easier to keep going. You brush your teeth, make your bed, drink water, stretch, speak some affirmations. That stack of wins builds self-respect. Most people think habits have to be these giant, dramatic actions. Nope. Habits are quiet. They're consistent, and they don't look impressive at first. But over time, they shape how you think, how you act, and what you tolerate from yourself. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you fall to the level of your systems. So if your system is weak in the morning, your day will limp. But if your system is solid, your day will run. Build systems you can repeat even on your worst days. When your mornings are sloppy, your results are unpredictable. When your mornings are dialed in, your whole day levels up. That's not luck. That's alignment. That's what real structure looks like. The way you start dictates the way you handle everything else. It doesn't have to be complicated. Set a routine that supports your energy. Protect it like your peace depends on it, because it does. And once you start seeing results, don't get lazy. Double down. You don't build greatness by accident. You build it on purpose. You are not your goals. You are your habits. And every morning, you're either reinforcing the ones that move you forward or the ones that hold you back. Choose wisely, because your habits are being watched. The world is loud. It's always trying to talk over your thoughts. But if you don't carve out silence in the morning, you'll never hear yourself. And if you can't hear yourself, how are you supposed to hear your purpose? Silence ain't emptiness, it's power. It gives your mind room to breathe, room to think. That silence is where your best ideas show up. It's where your instincts speak. But most people drown that out with noise before they even get dressed. Even 5 minutes of silence can change the game. Sit still, breathe, let your thoughts settle. Don't judge them, just watch. That space between the noise, that's where your next move is hiding. That's where clarity lives. You don't need to meditate for an hour, you just need to pause. Because when you pause, your brain stops reacting and starts creating. That shift alone can take you from confusion to direction before the coffee even brews. Silence helps you figure out what matters. It helps you remember your goals. It reminds you what's real and what's just noise. And when the world comes rushing in, you're already centered. You're not shaken. You're grounded. People who master silence are dangerous. They don't need chaos to feel alive. They don't need opinions to feel validated. They know who they are because they took the time to sit with themselves and listen. Protect that silence like your sanity depends on it. Don't skip it. Don't rush it because of that quiet time in the morning. That's where champions are built before the world even wakes up. Too many people wake up and the first thing they do is check their phone. Before they've even spoken to themselves, they're already checking emails, scrolling social media, reacting to other people's lives. That phone becomes their boss, and they start their day on somebody else's time. You can't build a powerful day while being a slave to distraction. Your mind is most clear in the morning. That's when it's sharp, open, creative. But if the first thing you do is flood it with messages, likes, texts, you're already playing defense before you even suit up. That phone isn't evil, but it is addictive. And addiction doesn't care about your goals. It just wants your attention. Every notification, every ping, every scroll pulls you further away from your purpose. And by the time you look up, you're late, overwhelmed, and disconnected from yourself. You've got to protect your focus like it's cash, because it is. Your attention is currency. And every morning you hand it over to your phone, you're spending your power on things that won't pay you back. Your peace is too expensive to waste on comparison and chaos. Set rules for yourself. No phone the first 30 minutes, or better yet, start with something that feeds you. Prayer, journaling, reading, movement. Before you plug into the digital world, you need to download from within before you download from outside. Don't let other people's urgency become your emergency. Just because they send a message doesn't mean you owe them your peace. Just because something popped up on your feed doesn't mean it deserves your energy. Not everything is urgent, and most things can wait. Take your power back from that screen. You are not here to be managed by algorithms. You're here to manage your day, your goals, your growth. The world can wait. The first hour belongs to you. If your morning feels chaotic, it's probably because your night was lazy. Winners don't just win in the morning. They set it up the night before. Clothes ready, bag packed, mind clear, goals written. You can't control the morning if you leave it up to chance. You ever try to make good decisions when you rush? It doesn't work. You cut corners, you forget stuff, you start the day behind. But when you prepare at night, you wake up ahead. That head start makes all the difference. Even 10 minutes of prep at night can save you 30 minutes of stress in the morning. Lay out your clothes. Set your priorities. Map out your top 3 tasks. That little bit of effort stacks up into a routine that supports your future. Your brain loves order. It loves knowing what's next. When you set the stage at night, your brain doesn't wake up in chaos. It wakes up in confidence. It's not guessing what to do, it's executing. And execution is where success lives. Most people are reactive in the morning because they were lazy at night. But if you close the day strong, you open the next one stronger. Success isn't magic. It's a system. And systems don't turn on by accident. They're built on purpose. You've got to reverse engineer your day. Start with the outcome you want in the morning and work backward to set it up. Want to feel strong? Prep your workout clothes. Want to eat clean? Prep your breakfast. Want to feel clear? Prep your mind. Every night, ask yourself, am I setting up tomorrow to win? Because every champion you admire is winging it. They're planning, prepping, and positioning themselves to dominate from the second they wake up. You can promise yourself change all day long, but your mind doesn't bleed words, it bleeds patterns. It bleeds what you repeat. And if you keep waking up late, skipping routines, making excuses, your mind stops trusting you. It doesn't matter what you say. It follows what you do. That's why consistency in the morning matters more than intensity. You don't need a perfect 2-hour miracle routine. You just need patterns that tell your brain we show up for ourselves. That's what builds identity. That's what builds belief. If you want to rewire your mindset, start with one action every morning and repeat it. Wake up at the same time. Write down one goal. Move your body for 5 minutes. Say one affirmation. Don't make it complicated. Make it consistent. Think of it like this. Every time you keep a promise to yourself in the morning, you're putting a deposit into your confidence bank. And the more you deposit, the more you can withdraw when life gets hard. That self-trust becomes your emergency fund for hard times. People quit on themselves because their habits have trained their mind to expect failure. But when your patterns say, I finish what I start, your mindset becomes bulletproof. That's not hype, that's evidence, and your brain runs on evidence. So look at your morning. Is it sending evidence that you're disciplined, focused, committed, or is it telling your brain that you're all talk and no follow through? Because whatever your pattern is, your mind will build your reality around it. You can change your story, but not without changing your habits. And the fastest way to shift your habits is to master your mornings. Because those first few hours speak louder to your mind than any pep talk ever could. Every time you hit snooze, you're making a decision. You're choosing delay over discipline. And it feels small, but it trains your brain to break promises before the day even starts. That's how self-doubt creeps in, not from big failures, but from tiny patterns like this one. That snooze button tells your goals you can wait. It tells your purpose you're not that urgent. But success doesn't wait. It doesn't hit snooze. It rewards people who move with urgency, even when they're tired, even when they're uncomfortable. You ever notice how sluggish your body feels after snoozing 2 or 3 times? That's not just physical, it's psychological. You've already told yourself that comfort matters more than commitment. You're starting the day with hesitation instead of momentum. It's not about being perfect, it's about being intentional. 1 minute of discipline beats 10 minutes of comfort. That first decision to get up tells your whole system, we're moving today. And that energy carries through every other task. You want to start stacking wins, make getting up your first one. No delay, no debate. The alarm rings and you rise. You teach yourself that your word has power, that when you say you're going to do something, it gets done, even if nobody's watching. Every morning you choose action over avoidance, you get stronger. Not just physically, but mentally. Your inner voice starts to believe in you because you're proving it can trust you. You're proving you're not soft on your own vision. That snooze button may feel like a break, but it's a break in momentum. And when you break momentum, you break progress. Train yourself to rise on the first ring, because how you rise determines how you run. Nobody owes you motivation. Nobody's come to light your fire for you. That's your job. That's your power. And once you understand that your energy is your responsibility, you stop waiting for inspiration and start creating it. How you speak, how you breathe, how you move, all of that affects your energy. You can either fuel it or drain it. You can either protect it or leak it. But either way, you're responsible for it. That's a choice you make every single morning. Start checking your inner voice like you check your outfit. Is it clean? Is it ready? Or is it messy and tired? You've got to dress your mind for battle. Pump yourself up. Don't just roll into your day with random energy. Charge yourself. Energy isn't hype. It's alignment. It's when your body, your spirit, and your mind are on the same page. And that alignment starts with intention. You can't wake up dragging and expect to crush your goals. You have to activate yourself. Hydrate, breathe deep, speak life, move your body, listen to something uplifting. Smile, even if you have to fake it at first. All of that stacks, all of that counts. You're not just managing time, you're managing energy, and that's a whole different level. People think burnout comes from doing too much. Nah, it often comes from doing too little of what fills you up. If your morning isn't pouring into you, it's draining you. You can't give the world your best when you're running on empty by 9 a.m. Own your energy. Guard it like treasure. You set the tone for your day, and when you take control of your energy, you take control of your outcome. Confidence doesn't come from compliments. It doesn't come from results. It comes from small wins, stacked every single day, especially in the morning. When you make your bed, when you follow through on your routine, when you check off those early tasks, something inside you starts to grow. Confidence is built like muscle, and small wins are the reps. You don't get strong doing nothing. You get strong by doing the work again and again. So start seeing every morning task as a rep. Each one makes you a little stronger than you were yesterday. You ever leave the house after a strong morning and feel like you're ready for anything? That's not magic. That's momentum. You gave yourself proof that you can lead, execute, commit. And that kind of self-proof is what separates winners. We live in a world where people doubt themselves all day long, but you've got a chance every morning to beat that doubt back with discipline. Nobody can take that from you. That's yours. You earned it with your actions, not your words. The beauty of small wins is they're under your control. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to do them. And when you do, your brain starts recognizing a pattern. We win. We execute. We handle business. Over time, those small wins stack into a mindset that doesn't fold under pressure. It doesn't need hype. It doesn't need applause. It walks with quiet confidence because it's been tested, proven, and built one morning at a time. So stop chasing big breakthroughs and start chasing consistent victories. Because when you own your mornings, confidence becomes your default setting. The voice you wake up to is not just the one coming from your alarm, it's the one in your head. And that voice, the one that starts talking the moment your eyes open, is either building you up or breaking you down. The problem is most people don't even realize they're in conversation with themselves every single morning. You tell yourself what kind of day it's going to be before you even get out of bed. I'm tired. This is going to be a long day. I'm not ready for this. Those phrases sound harmless, but they set the tone. You're scripting your day with your own thoughts. And what you speak consistently becomes your reality. You don't need some loud, over-the-top pep talk, but you do need truth. You need words that ground you, fuel you, remind you of who you are and what you're chasing. Even something as simple as "let's go" can snap your brain into gear. You are the first person you hear from every day. Make sure that voice is on your team. This is where intentional self-talk becomes a weapon. You look in the mirror, and instead of picking yourself apart, you remind yourself of the facts. I'm built for this. I don't quit. I do hard things. These aren't cheesy. They commands, and your brain obeys what it hears the most. Your mind is like soil. Whatever seed you plant first in the morning is what's going to grow all day. If you plant stress, stress will multiply. But if you plant strength, clarity, purpose, that's what takes root. You've got to feed yourself better thoughts before the world starts feeding you junk. The real battle isn't on your to-do list. It's in your thoughts. Most people lose the day in their mind before they even check the calendar. They lose the day by agreeing with negativity before they even stepped out the door. You got to interrupt that pattern on purpose. Start your mornings by choosing your narrative. Choose the thoughts that serve your goals. Choose the voice that reminds you of your potential. You don't need external motivation when your internal voice is disciplined, focused, and fearless. Too many people wake up and go straight into fight or flight. Alarm goes off, they already anxious, already behind, already in reactive mode. That's not how champions move. Champions start the day in survival. They start in strategy. If the first thing you do is panic about your schedule, worry about bills, check 10 messages, and feel rushed, then guess what? You're not operating, you're surviving. And survival mode doesn't build legacy. It doesn't make you sharp. It makes you scattered. Survival mode puts your body in a stress response. Your breathing gets shallow. Your focus narrows. Your creativity shuts down. You're in fix-it mode instead of build-it mode. That's not where power lives. That's where burnout starts. You need time in the morning to lead yourself. To sit, think, breathe, align. That doesn't mean you need 2 hours of yoga and meditation. It means you need 10 minutes of intentional focus. Your time before emails, before tasks, before noise. People say, I don't have time for that. But you make time for what matters. You can't afford to skip alignment if you want to stay grounded. You can't lead others, your business, your team, your family, if you're coming from chaos. You got to be centered before you move. When you prioritize peace in the morning, you carry that energy into everything else. Your conversations change. Your responses slow down. Your ideas get sharper. You become the calm in the storm, not the one getting tossed around by it. Don't just wake up to survive, wake up to advance. Wake up like someone who knows they've got something to build, something to protect, something to become. That mindset takes you out of panic and into purpose before your feet even hit the ground. You ever walk into a room and change the vibe just by how you carry yourself? That's real. People feel your energy before they hear your words. And that energy, your energy starts the second you wake up. That's why mornings matter more than most people realize. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you signal. If you walk into your day unsure, negative, or passive, the world will reflect that right back to you. But if you walk in with purpose, focus, and presence, it moves, doors open, people take notice. You're not invisible, and your vibe speaks louder than your resume. Whether you're applying for a job, pitching a deal, leading a team, or just showing up for life. You want strong results? Start with strong energy. And strong energy doesn't come from coffee. It comes from clarity. It comes from knowing who you are, what you're about, and what you're building. And when you've done the internal work in the morning, the external world has no choice but to respect it. You can't fake this. You can't pretend your way into powerful presence. It comes from routines that sharpen you, thoughts that strengthen you, and actions that align with your vision. That's what gives you that real presence, the kind that commands without shouting. Energy is contagious. You either inspire people or drain them. And that starts with the tone you set in the morning. If your energy is off, everything feels harder. But if it's strong, even challenges feel like opportunities. So carry yourself like someone who knows their value. Walk into the day like you were sent there for a reason. Because the world responds to how you show up. And you decide that every morning.